Welcome back to my channel. So glad you came back to visit me. Yeah. So welcome to my name is Sherry and I'm glad you're here. Don't forget to subscribe, like, comment so I can provide you with more content. So today we will start talking about my pediatrics rotation in my third year, which is my second core rotation. While I was here at Atlanta Medical Center. My peds rotation, girl. Do you know that saying that when you go to pediatrics, you are bound to get sick? Honey, I was sick every week of that 6-week rotation. I had 2 ear infections. I had stomach bug, I had bronchitis, early stage pneumonia. And my early stage pneumonia and bronchitis was so bad. I had to go to the hospital 3 times and I had to get a pulmonologist so I can get an inhaler that actually worked for me. Y'all, peds was rough. Peds was super hard. It's because I was sick the entire time. So anyways, let's talk about a little bit about my peds rotation, and I will a little bit later I will show a little bit of some videos when I was actually doing the rotation because I was sick so much. So I'm gonna add a little bit of some old little videos that I had on my phone so you guys can see how I studied during peds, some of the things that happened to me during peds, as well as how I studied for my show. Okay, so let me tell you a little bit about my pediatrics rotation. So my pediatric rotation was 6 weeks, and the last week was the NICU. The other 5 weeks was in outpatient in Atlanta, and my preceptor was associated with 2 hospitals in Atlanta. So during that rotation or any rotation, I always want to give 150% because there's something that you can always learn from somebody else, regardless if you are interested in the specialty or not, or interested in that specific realm or whatever. There's something that you can always learn from somebody. So each rotation, whether I want to do it or not, I always want to give 150%. Just because you never know what you can learn and take onto the specialty that you want to do. So that goes for anything. And my peds rotation was actually really hard. Not because I don't like kids or anything of that nature. It's because I was sick the entire time. The entire time I was sick every single week. I had 2 ear infections, I had a stomach bug, I had early stage pneumonia and bronchitis. I had to go to the hospital 3 times. I had to get 3 breathing treatments. I had to go, and with 3 times I went, they were all emergency visits because I could not breathe. And then I was on antibiotics and steroids. Then the inhaler that I was originally on, it was not helping me, hence why I had to go to the hospital 2 more times because I could not breathe. And needless to say, I don't have any lung diseases or anything of that nature. I'm pretty, thank God I don't really have any, quote unquote past medical history, but I was really sick. really sick. So I had to go to the pulmonologist and get another inhaler and do follow-ups because I was having such trouble breathing. Just long story short, you're bound to get sick in peds. You're bound to get sick in peds. If you have not heard it, you're bound to get sick in peds. I got sick every single week and had to make up those days. Yeah, it was a mess. I'm gonna put in some videos of the things that I went through during peds, which I was so sick the entire time. My proctor is making me do a strep test right now, so this is gonna be real interesting.
No, don't do that. Don't do that. Like that. Like.
How long does that take?
5 minutes.
Oh. It's probably negative.
Yes. Now it's automático.
Are you done?
No, I think it's negative.
Not yet.
Not yet.
He's so
24 hours later.
Finally got to feel better. My voice is gone though, but you know, at least I'm feeling a little bit better. But unfortunately, I'm at the dealership because my car would not start. But I've had that thing since I was 16, so I'm pretty sure it's a minor issue. I'm still alive and I'm still breathing, so God is good all the time. God is good. Welcome back. I am back. You feel me? Yeah, so I was really sick. I went to the emergency room like 3 times. Then I had to go see a pulmonologist and all that. And I'm finally back. So I'm really excited about just like life in general, because that was a lot. Like, I don't get sick like that. So like, just thinking about it, I was sick the entire peds rotation, and I had to make up so many days because I missed so many days just being in and out of the hospital, in and out of doctor's visits. But I enjoyed the rotation. I was with two other colleagues, and that was a lot of fun. And my preceptor used to call me, what did he call me? What is that question game that he used? Jeopardy. He used to call me Jeopardy because I always wanted to do practice questions with him. Because like, if you have someone that's been doing this for 40 years or 20 years, or they've been doing this a long time, and you're just coming in from 2 years of basic sciences and this is your second rotation and you've only been doing it for a week, who do you want to learn from? Exactly. So I was like, come on, let's do some questions together. So I was always asking him, like, I was always trying to pick his brain, and that's what they're there for. I want to pick your brain, and I want to know what you know so I can learn it too. So not only for the test, but for, long term, because regardless if you want to do P's or not, surgery, psych, you're gonna, sometimes you may, whatever you do, you just always want to be prepared. And more knowledge, the more better. The better you are in whatever field. I just wanted to be well-rounded. So I used to always ask him questions. And that's what, if you, like, I know preceptor is like 30 years all about, your preceptor and the type of personality that they have. But luckily, I didn't have that problem at AMC. They always wanted to teach. In Atlanta, they always wanted to teach. So I was always nitpicking, not nitpicking. I was always trying to dig in their brains to try to figure out how they were thinking or asking questions. So that's the way that I did my pediatrics rotation. That's the best way, I think, to do any rotation is, you don't want to be like, hey, it's my question. And, you don't want to do that. If there's some downtime and you want to be like, hey, you want to look at this UWorld question with me, I'm not sure what it is. Or if you want to, because we used to do it as a group. It was 3 of us, and they would do questions from UWorld or a different question bank, and I would bring questions that I got wrong or I'm not understanding, and we would work together with the preceptor to figure out, why we got the question wrong or why the question is right. and it was just a really good learning experience, you know, past the other times that I was sick, but you know, whatever. So that is the best way to do any rotation. So how did I study for my pediatric shelf? So like I said before, I was sick the majority of the time. So I used UWorld, and of course I used Divine's intervention, as well as, what is her name? I see her face, but I cannot think of her name. What? Oh, I can't think of her name. I'm gonna put her stuff right there. But she's also really good as well. I watched Divine Intervention and her pediatrics video after. I watched them after I do all my UWorld questions. So I go through the UWorld questions, and I think Peds had maybe 300 or 400 questions. After I do the UWorld questions, I mark every single question and I redo it. So you know how they like, oh, you can only reset your UWorld Q bank one time. I'm gonna say don't get me in trouble. Just mark the questions as you go. And when I marked the pediatrics, like 300 or 400 questions, I believe, and after I marked them, I redid the whole shelf. So I went through UWorld twice for peds, as well as I watched the 2 review of the shelf by Da Vinci and was it Dr. Emma Holiday, girl, my goodness, I cannot think of her name, but she does a lot of the shelf reviews. So I watched both of those, and I did read a little bit of BRS for pediatrics. I didn't finish it. I honestly felt that UWorld was enough for me, and I did really well. I got an A on my P shelf. I got an A on all my shelves. Now I think about it. Yeah, I got an A on all my shelves, but yeah. But I really, if you really want a good pediatrics book, I would recommend the BRS Pediatrics. I thought it was a really good book, even though I didn't finish all of it. You can see some of my highlight. But it went into depth a little bit more than UWorld. And if you wanted a complete understanding of peds, you can finish this entire book. I, of course, did not finish because I was in that hospital the entire time of peds. So I would definitely recommend this book. As far as the shelf exam, I did the UWorld, like I said, did that twice, and I marked my answers, and I read about half of that book. I did Divine's shelf review, as well as Dr. Emma Holiday. My goodness. But I did those, and I also did all the NBMEs for P's. And I believe there, at that time, before they added the new ones, there were 4 NBMEs, so I did all 4 NBMEs. So for UWorld, I do tutor mode. For the NBMEs, I just take it as it is, and then after I take all the 4 NBMEs, I do an average of all the test scores. So by the time I get to the actual shelf, I would have seen probably over 1,000 questions before I get to the 110 or 120 on the shelf exam. So by that time, I'm just clicking. Okay, I know this. And even with that, there's still going to be some things on the shelf that you may not be prepared for, that they try to throw you off with. But I felt that really worked for me, and it also worked for a lot of people who were in 3rd year or already physicians as well, who gave me that little portion of advice that actually really helped me. Because also, the way that I did it made it a lot easier for me to study for step 2, because my step score did increase. Just the way that I was just doing questions. I know that some people use Exam Guru. People use Exam Guru and Kaplan questions. Ross provides you with Kaplan QBank, as well as a live course for step 2, and And I did not use the Kaplan and Exam Guru question banks until I finished all my third year core rotation. So when I reset my UWorld at the end of my third year, that's when I used the Exam Guru for specific portions that I forgot and I needed more extra practice. So I used it for peds as well as I used it for peds. That's the one I had a hard time remembering. But for the peds part, because I was sick in and out of that. But I used the entire Kaplan Q Bank for step 2. I went through that and I did the Exam Guru for peds as well as I did UWorld again. So yeah, I know you're like, girl, you almost died. And I know. But I made it through and so can you. If I can make an A, you can make an A. Shoot, after all of that, that definitely was like, you can get through anything. So yeah, that's all I have. If you have any more questions, feel free to contact me via Instagram at _ my name is Sherry 2, as well as don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you more for videos. Bye, girl. Bye. For my TikTokers. Okay, bye.